There's a lot of talk out there about how harmful too much screen time in childhood is for kids. And I've been so encouraged to see more and more young parents join the movement to roll back this screen based childhood phenomenon that we've seen take hold in the past decade or so. But in this video, I want to talk about what I know most about, which is the way in which too much screen time interferes with, in fact, I would say sabotages kids' social and moral development. So, how kids learn to be with others, how they understand and connect with others, how they notice what other people are experiencing, how they empathize with the feelings of other people, and how they come to contribute to the well-being of others. Hi, I'm Jess Kingsford, and at Happy Hearts Parenting, we help kids thrive through connection, kindness, and contribution. Because in the midst of a growing youth mental health crisis, kids thrive most when they feel seen and valued, when they know they have something to give, and when they know that they matter in the lives of others. So let's get into it. If you're a parent of a young child, you should probably swat up on what the current recommendations are around screen exposure in childhood. So, how much is too much? Does it matter what kind of content children are exposed to? What's the difference between high and low quality content? And we've actually taken the hard work out of this for you and created our screen time guidelines for parents of children aged 0 to 8. And we'll put a link to that in the notes of this video, or you can find that on our website along with our other free resources. And I really encourage you to take a look at those guidelines because it is important that you understand what too much screen time is in childhood. I also think it's quite important to understand what the research is revealing about what too much screen time in childhood is linked to. It's a little bit depressing, but I do think it's important to understand. I'm just going to read out what some of these things are. Poor cognitive development, poorer language skills, higher levels of anxiety, depression, loneliness, and aggression, poorer physical health, childhood obesity, disrupted sleep, family and relational difficulties. The list goes on. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'll link to some of that research in the notes. Now, those things are all really about the results or outcomes of too much screen time in childhood. I want to draw your attention to something a little bit different, which is more around what kids miss out on when they spend too much time on screens. It's the opportunity cost, if you like, of being buried in their devices for too much time in childhood. These are all those real life moments and interactions and dynamics that children need in order to develop socially and morally. I call these micro experiences. And there are all those moments when children have an opportunity to tune into another person, to notice subtle cues on people's faces and in their tone of voice, to respond to another person's experience or their needs, to contribute in some way to what someone is experiencing. And to give you some really concrete examples of what we're talking about here, we created this little document for you. It's called Opportunities for Social and Moral Development in Childhood. These are basically any situation when a child is potentially in relation to another person. And any time that they're on screens, that really diminishes, if not eliminates, those opportunities. So just to give you some examples here, we're talking about moments of awareness and reading cues, moments of social friction and repair. So, for example, a child wanting to join in with a group and having to figure out how to do that. Moments of conflict and negotiation, moments of conversation and storytelling, really important in childhood, builds connection and narrative identity, remembering and creating shared moments together with you or with other family members, moments of balancing and giving, where children build consideration and interdependence with others. Moments of contribution and purpose really helps kids build a sense of belonging and mattering. So simple things like feeding and caring for the pet, laying the table, etc. So really with that list, with those examples, I should say, those real life examples, I really want you to understand the opportunity cost that comes with too much screen time for children. It really sabotages their chance of developing in healthy ways, socially and morally. And to me, this is so troubling because our ability to notice others, to connect with others, to understand others, to balance our needs with those of other people, to contribute to the well-being of other people, these are the things that actually define our humanness. These are the kinds of things that make us human. And in this dawning age of AI, I think it's really important that we help our children develop their humanity in these ways. And look, it's not only important because it defines our humanness, the research tells us that children developing a strong sense of their interrelatedness with others, their interdependence, their interconnection, is powerfully linked to long-term mental and emotional well-being. And isn't that what we want for our children? We want them to thrive emotionally, socially, mentally, and to enjoy long-term well-being. If you found this video helpful, check out some of our other videos so that you can help your child thrive through connection, kindness, and contribution. Thanks for watching. Happy parenting, and I'll see you next time.